I'm gonna need you to slow down. I'm gonna need you to take some time, give yourself grace, and let yourself truly be in the present moment. Good fucking morning, everybody. I am in the mood today to talk about resting, or at least appreciating the season that we are currently in our lives. I think we are so susceptible to giving into like the capitalistic fear mongering, which is that like you have to constantly be grinding, you have to constantly be working, you have to be doing something at every waking moment. All this bollocks of like, you know, well, while you're sleeping, I'm grinding and working on my passion. That's not something to glorify, that's not something to glamorize, that's not something to romanticize. We are not on this planet to constantly be doing work. If anything, personally for me, the reason I want to like be grinding for a period of time is so that I don't have to grind like for much longer. Understanding that you need to relinquish the control to constantly feel as though you need to be doing something in order to succeed is really important. And it's also like false. You don't have to be doing something all the time to be succeeding. Funnily enough and weirdly enough, it sounds counterintuitive, but the moment you relinquish control, the moment you just like let go, things come in, because you're in this sort of like untense, chill mentality. Because hustle culture in itself, I don't know if it's like inherently bad or good, but the product of it that I would say is particularly bad is the feeling of needing to be working all the time. Once you finish a 9 to 5, right, straight to the hustle. Unfortunately, this kind of feeling of wanting to be doing it all the time comes from a lack mentality. It's like this scarcity mindset of like, oh my god, if I don't keep doing stuff and if I don't keep grinding and if I don't keep going with this, I'm gonna lose my streak or whatever it is. I mean, we have tools like that even in society of like, you know, even with Snapchat streaks or the algorithm favoring you if you're posting like every day and stuff like that. Yes, consistency is key, but consistency isn't what I suppose we've been conditioned to believe it is. Consistency is like literally just keeping going, even if it's not at allocated times. So for example, yeah, Instagram and TikTok will tell you like you need to be posting once a day. Well, no, you don't. You can still be consistent and still keep going without doing that. You can still grow without doing that. Consistency is not quitting. It's not frequency, if that makes sense. Frequency does not equate to consistency. Frequency is like, yeah, every day I'm going to be posting. Yeah, you're posting frequently on a regular basis. Consistency is like, it's not quite the same. Yes, that is one way of being consistent. It's not the only way of being consistent. You can be consistent with bigger time blocks between doing a certain activity or pushing yourself out there, like in an activity. Most creatives cannot possibly be consistently putting out art on a regular basis all the time. You know, think about like any artist, like they create one painting or they create one book or they create one album and then have a big break. They have a period of time where they don't focus on that art and they're not being creative consistently all the time. Consistency needs to be like on a regular everyday basis. It's such a capitalistic fallacy. It's such a capitalistic like untruth that the only way of being consistent is to like show up to something every day. It's just not the case. You don't have to do that. It's unnuanced, you know, there's more to it than that. And this is where the idea of sitting in your season comes from, in my opinion. There are certain seasons in your life where you are meant to be smashing out the work, going for it, being consistent and intense. And then there are seasons where you rest and you take time away from your creative pursuit or you take time away from your hustle. That is how it's meant to be, I think, because I don't think the human body could possibly take in a healthy way, like doing something every day for long periods of time. You have to have that break, you have to have that time away from it to even be good at then doing those intense stints. I've had burnout for probably about 3 or 4 months now. And it's because it's the result of thinking that I always have to be grinding, I have to be doing something every day to be consistent with my goals. It's bollocks. There will be, like I said, a season of you grinding and a season of you resting. And you're still consistent in that time. You're still consistent because you're consistent in that period of time when it's your season to be grinding and working on it. But you will find yourself slowing down, you'll find yourself being less motivated, you'll find yourself being like procrastinating, and that is your sign to just take some time away. And when I say time away and when I say resting, I just mean taking your brain away from that pursuit or that sort of hustle in particular, taking your brain completely away from that. I still wake up early in the morning as if I would if I was like working, but instead my focus at the moment most of the time is to just engage in self-care and spiritual activities. So my focus of the day is not really work. Yes, sometimes I'll do a bit of work, e.g. like this is a little bit of work. I'm enjoying doing like YouTube and I'll be editing later, but my focus during my resting stage is always those self-care activities. So things like meditating, getting 8 hours of sleep, reading, doing half an hour to an hour of exercise every day, doing my mantras, listening to affirmations, journaling. Those things are my focus, because during my rest period, it's about reflecting, recuperating, and enjoying the season of my life where I'm not I don't feel like it's right for me to be like hustling. You will be met essentially with resistance if you try and continue to like hustle in your period of time when you're not supposed to hustle. If you're like grinding and working and which is, you know, is important at times, but when you're doing that in a period of time when your body feels like it needs rest, it's like a form of self-sabotage, it's like self-harm, and it won't actually help you get to where you want to be. I mean, that's certainly the phase that I'm in. I'm going out less at the moment. I'm kind of reducing my circle deliberately because I kind of only want to be around people that like heighten my vibration, make me feel good. It's become more lonely, but not in a way that's like sad, but more in a way that's like, okay, I know this is like a season that I need to go through. I know I need to focus on myself. I know I need to focus on reflection. I know I need to like make self-care and self-love a really big part of my day and a big part of my routine. That's the season that I'm happy to be in. And I think a lot of people might think, you know, oh, that's so boring or whatever, but it's just the season that I need to be in right now. And I know that my life will become a bit more exciting when I get back into like grinding and like going for it, because that's what I've been doing for the past 6 months, and it was really fun, it was really exciting, and there was like, you know, exciting opportunities coming through. Despite that, and despite enjoying that, I did feel like, you know, oh God, I really need this rest right now. You know, this is the right time to rest, and I'm honoring that season. Sometimes we can't even see the benefits of that season. Like, it's so difficult to be in a rest season or be in a season where you're like, there's like not so much happening, and you're like, how is this helpful? You can just think to yourself, you know what, I'm going to try really hard to trust the universe here, because there might be something coming that I can't see yet, and that's going to require me to have sat in this season and of my life in the way that I have, and have honoured this season in my life in the way that I have. There's a reason why I was really, really productive like in the past 6 months. I'm so grateful for that, but there's a reason why I am having this feeling of needing to rest in these particular months. It's probably going to be significant in some way in the future. The present moment is exactly where you need to be right now, is exactly where the universe wants you to be, and it's something to enjoy. I think, again, with like capitalism society, like we're always looking for the next big thing, we're always looking for the next exciting thing, we're never really fully present, we're always thinking of the future or the past. Like, very few of us are actually enjoying the present moment, and that is truly the only moment that we actually have. Like, we only have the present moment. We don't exist in the past or the future anymore, and this is the only time that we can make actual change and actually choose the right thing to do in that moment. So being in the present moment is really important, and enjoying that moment because you know that it's meant to be there and you're meant to be here right now is really, really important. There is nowhere else you should be other than right now. There is nowhere else that you should be or you should be doing right now other than doing what your body feels like you should be doing now. There's nowhere else. I think sometimes, I often think, oh, I kind of wish I was a bit more ahead on my success journey right now, a bit close to my goals. Or I think, oh, I should have done this in the past so that like now could be different. No, like just be grateful for the fact that like you have this moment right now to enjoy. Like, it's here, a gift for you to like enjoy, and it's important. There's a reason why you are here right now and not somewhere else. Every time I've experienced a success or some kind, I'm always like, I'm so glad it happened now. Like, it makes sense why it happened now because, I don't know, I was mentally more prepared for it. Or I'm so glad that I experienced these bad things or negative experiences in the past so that it's equipped me for like being able to enjoy this or handle this situation now. There has to be gratitude for the present moment, and there has to be gratitude for like how this present moment is going to be one of those amazing building blocks in your journey. Your exciting season will come, and just enjoy the season where you're resting, recuperating, reflecting, because that will prove useful in your season of excitement and breakthrough. Things often happen quicker than we think. You know, we think, oh, our goals are so far in the future, it's like years away. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen in like a week's time. You could have this massive breakthrough in a week and you'll be like, why was I even worrying about like rushing about, you know, wanting this thing to happen quicker? It will happen at exactly the right time, when you are ready and when you are meant to experience it. Your age doesn't matter. There's literally no rush. There is no rush to experience all of these different things. And when you come with this sort of rushing, anticipation, impatient, scarcity, lacking mindset, it's not going to get you there any faster. You know, their divine timing will happen when it will happen. You can do nothing to prevent it from happening quicker or slower. You know, things will happen at the time that it's supposed to happen. You can't rush these things. You can't propel these things. You have to just let it happen naturally and in time. I think something that people who experience periods and like experience the menstrual cycle should also be aware of is that we do not function in the 24-hour clock. Men function in the 24-hour clock. Their testosterone is highest in the morning and it reduces throughout the day to the point where obviously in the evening they have low testosterone and therefore less energy, less motivation, so on, whatever the lack of sort of testosterone brings later on in the day. People who experience periods do not function in this way. So there's a cycle that you go through. So towards the time when it comes up to your period, you are going to have less energy. That is just exactly how it works. Because we work on a 28-day clock and society tells us that we should work on a 24-hour clock, we beat ourselves, well I do anyway, I beat myself up for those days when I'm just feeling like low motivation, I'm sluggish, I'm low. Especially when I'm on my period, I'm just like, I literally do not want to do anything. I just want to like rest, recuperate, not do anything. So being conscious of like that cycle, if you're somebody that does experience periods, is to like use that as a tool to make your work around that. When I'm at the beginning of that 28 cycle, I try and get as much work as I kind of can done at that time so that I feel more reassured when it gets to that point where I have less motivation and low energy. You know, I'm like, well, it's okay because I know that I made the effort when I could at a time when I had high energy to do the work that I needed to do and like work towards my goals in the way that I did. Really understanding your menstrual cycle and understanding that like your body doesn't work in society's structure is really important, and trying to make trying to mold your life around your cycle is going to really, really help when it comes to like understanding where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing at a certain time, and like giving yourself permission to rest at times and recuperate at times, especially at the time that you are going to have less energy and motivation to work towards your goals on a more intense basis. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I would really like to hear what you have to say about any of the things I've talked about. It was less of a structured video today, but I had a lot of things that I kind of wanted to say and talk about. So yeah, do you feel like there have been seasons when things have been more intense and then other times when they've been more rest focused? Let me know. I really want to hear your thoughts. And yeah, with that, I hope you have a really wonderful rest of your week and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.